you thought the way Facebook tracks you was scary, it's got nothing on the Chinese government, which just unveiled a system of monitoring and grading every citizen's behavior in one city.
Recently, China's new credit score system has been gaining a lot of traction online. It's been a hot topic of several news discourses as well. What is this new system? How does this impact the Chinese? Let's take a deeper look. China is creating a credit score system that seems to be a powerful way to control people's behavior. This system will give everyone in China a score between 350 and 950, and it will not only consider financial credit, but also punish actions like jaywalking and criticizing the government. Even more concerning is that your friends' and family's actions could also affect your score. An article written by the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, an organization that advocates for free speech, privacy, and criminal justice reform, explained in great detail about the new system. However, the author wasn't an expert on China and later clarified that he intended to warn against potential abuses in America. Despite the update, the impact of this article remained significant. What mattered was that a well-known and respected institution such as the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, endorsed the idea of China's social credit system, and other organizations took notice. Soon after the original ACLU article was published, other media outlets republished it with alarming headlines, describing the Chinese system as Orwellian and potentially dystopian. The news spread rapidly, and multiple sources echoed the same conclusion, despite being based on a report written by a non-expert and primarily focused on the United States. However, if you ask people who have spent time in China about their experience, they often express confusion because the system described in the media doesn't match their reality. The truth is that the social credit system is a topic that has been highly sensationalized and misunderstood. The original document published by the State Council of China in June 2014, which outlined establishing a social credit system, is lengthy, vague, and not as sinister as portrayed. It lacks specific details and could be interpreted in various ways. The media hype and sensational reporting have created a distorted image of the social credit system in China. While the Chinese government does engage in censorship and propaganda, the exaggerated portrayal of the social credit system has led to widespread confusion about its actual nature and implementation. While there was some truth to the concerns about surveillance and control, it's essential to understand that the Chinese Communist Party often uses cryptic language and jargon. They delegate power to lower levels of government while maintaining the final authority. This way, they can distance themselves from criticism and ensure they achieve their goals without direct responsibility. The term social credit referred to a range of efforts, not a single policy. It initially had financial implications related to the economic growth and challenges those born before the one-child policy in the 1980s faced. The government aimed to improve financial stability and promote responsible borrowing behavior. To sustain economic growth, China needed its population to start spending. However, at that time, only a small percentage of the population had a credit report and access to loans, limiting their spending ability. To address this issue, the government initiated the concept of social credit, which had three main components. First, they allowed private companies to create alternative credit scores based on user data and apps like WeChat and Alipay. This aimed to improve financial inclusion and encourage responsible borrowing behavior. The second focus was centered around building trust within Chinese society. Scandals like toxic milk and widespread corruption had eroded trust, and the government wanted to create a reputation society to promote good behavior and hold wrongdoers accountable. Different cities experimented with various approaches, leading to chaotic and impractical implementations. The third component involved the creation of blacklists, where government ministries shared data on companies and individuals involved in violations. Repeat offenders could face restrictions, such as being banned from flights or trains until they fulfilled court orders. The underlying issue was the unchecked discretion given to individual police officers and bureaucrats, enabling the weaponization of laws like social credit. While journalists did contribute to the confusion by not fully understanding the complexities, China also fed into pre-existing anxieties about authoritarianism. Despite being three separate projects with different goals, social credit became a catch-all phrase for these initiatives. The media's misunderstanding and confusion stemmed from the complexity and ambiguity designed by the Chinese governments to allow for experimentation and plausible deniability. To some extent, the chaos and confusion surrounding the implementation of social credit was due to the size and complexity of the Chinese Communist Party. With over 100 million members, there were countless feuds, allegiances, and ambitions to navigate. Delegating power led to overstatements of capabilities by local governments and companies, and these exaggerations were fueled by the desire to impress authorities in Beijing. In summary, the social credit concept in China was not designed for global or local compensation. It was intentionally left ambiguous to follow the experimentation and plausible deniability of the central government. As a result, the media lost sight of the details and often portrayed social credit as one cohesive system, leading to misunderstandings. Is there any fancy technology like artificial intelligence used in the system? Mostly, no. Many people believe that China's social credit system must have powerful central algorithm to track the behavior of over 1 billion people, but that's not true. The system is surprisingly low-tech. While Chinese officials mention technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence, they never explain how these technologies are actually used. If you visit the Credit China website, it's just a digital library of separate databases. The system doesn't automatically apply sanctions based on data collections without human involvement. Human regulators still play a significant role in making decisions. For instance, in the village of Rongcheng, information gatherers use pen and paper to record villagers' good deeds. As the national social credit system is being developed, there's indeed a need for some technological elements, particularly to facilitate data sharing among various government agencies. If Beijing aims to allow different government agencies to use data collected by others to make enforcement decisions, it would require creating a substantial infrastructure to store, exchange, and process this data efficiently. This might involve building sophisticated databases and systems to ensure seamless communication and collaboration between different departments and agencies. While the core of the system may not rely on advanced technologies like artificial intelligence for scoring individuals, the need for efficient data handling and sharing necessitates the use of certain technological elements. It's important to remember that the concern around the new system are not entirely uncalled for. There are still reasons to be concerned about the implications of building a social credit system in China. While it may not be entirely driven by a powerful algorithm, there are other issues to consider. Potential for unjust punishment. The social credit system relies on existing laws, which can be flawed or biased. Punishments based on these laws may not always be fair or just. Expanding government control. As a system expands its focus to people's social and cultural lives, it can lead to further regulations of entertainment, education, and speech. This gives the state more control over what is considered acceptable behavior and can limit individual freedoms. State authority. The system empowers the government to decide who's trustworthy based on moral issues, which could lead to concentration of authority in the hands of the state. Community distrust. The system encourages reporting on individuals, even by their friends and family, which can foster distrust and create divisions within local communities. The potential weaponization of laws like social credit lies in the underlying system unchecked discretion, which affords significant power to individual police officers and bureaucrats. A nuanced approach is necessary to truly understand China's governance and surveillance measures. Instead of seeing China as an all-encompassing, omnipotent force, it is essential to recognize the complexity and limitations of its governance structure. In our current world with geopolitical tension and pre-existing anxieties, it's crucial to critically assess information and avoid falling prey to exaggerated portrayals. That concludes this video. Thanks for watching.